about Agnes's life, I learned that she was especially dedicated to her husband and her daughters, her sisters and brothers. She was the one who went to work when her father died to help support her mother and her siblings. She fell in love and married her future husband, Merritt. She created a loving home, liked to cook, and hosted numerous parties for co-workers, neighbors, and friends. Perhaps some of you joined in on those parties. She brought two lovely daughters, Carolyn and Sandra, into the world. In just a little while, we will hear from Carolyn, who will tell us some more of the details of her life. The beautiful reading from the book of Proverbs today that we heard speaks of the loving and generous wife who pours out her labors for the ones she loves. First on her list is her husband, who learns to prize her beyond any material goods. The reading says that her value is far beyond pearls, an expensive item found in the depths of the sea. We're told that the husband who loves her entrusts his heart to her. So pleasing and constant is she. The woman of Proverbs is industrious. She spends her days creating family and then creating life for her family. She makes cloth with her spinning wheel and clothes her family in more than just fine clothing. She clothes them in love and care and consistently attends to their needs. She is generous to the poor and remembers that other people come from the same God that she worships. She is not concerned about the ephemeral qualities of charm or beauty, but is intent on her relationships, how she reverences God and cares for her fellow human beings. The reading says that those of us who know this kind of woman should proclaim her virtues at the city gate, meaning that we should hold her up as a role model. We learn life not from books, but from the profound reflection of those lives of good people surrounding us, the people who show us how to live. Today we praise Agnes for her many virtues and accomplishments. Toward the end of her life, Agnes suffered Alzheimer's disease, as you know, a disease that steals the treasured memories from our consciousness. Perhaps that is how some of you remember her on this day. While we cannot reach our loved ones or clue into their memories or feelings for us, in our faith we know that God knows our loved ones, just as they are. God is still mysteriously present to our loved ones. How do we know this? I suggest we pay close attention to the Good Shepherd's Psalm that we heard. If I should walk in the valley of darkness, no evil would I fear. You are there with your crook and your staff. With these you give me comfort. Those of us with faith believe that Jesus is the Good Shepherd. He's very present to us, even in our darkness, even in the cloudy memory and forgetfulness of our lives. He promises to lead us to abundant life, the fresh and green pastures where life is nourishing and restful. It's my belief that Agnes has recovered completely and is super conscious at this very moment of every one of us here. She knows you by name. She knows you as a part of her life experience. She blesses you from above just by your being here. When a loved one dies, we lose our bearing. The one who was always there for us has been taken from us. We can no longer see Agnes nor hear her voice. We're called to relate to her in a new way. Jesus, I believe, foresaw this distancing, this separation that causes grief. And places before his disciples in our gospel today, from the Gospel of John, the consoling vision of heaven. He says that heaven is like a big house, his Father's house. Jesus was in love with his Father. The house is filled with a grand space and room for everyone who wants to be close to God. And Jesus said that he goes before us to prepare a place. He will not leave us to wander, but will return to guide us where we want to be. It's my faith that Jesus, the shepherd, came for Agnes, to guide her to heaven, to the presence of God. Jesus promised to be her way, her truth, her life. He would make sure that she entered into the loving presence of the God who created her.